Hi, I'm Chris.
I'm Radford.
I'm River.
And we're
ToughToughSkin.
And today we are here to talk about transitioning.
Specifically as it relates to music and singing.
So I'm going to jump right in and talk about my singing background a little bit. Prior to starting Testosterone, I had over 20 years of singing experience in various places. Choirs, solo ensemble, and private lessons. Immediately before starting T, I was singing professionally in a folk group called Winter Machine, and so I was actively singing a lot and pushing my voice and training my voice, and I postponed starting Testosterone for a year or two, specifically to keep working with that project. When that project ended, I started hormones within 6 months, and a month prior to starting T, I started singing in ToughToughSkin with River, which at that time was called Running on Empty. So changes that I noticed changes in my voice right away the first week that I was on T. I don't have a lot of recordings, but I do have a recording from 1 week on, and no one else would notice the differences, but I was feeling I was feeling tightening in my voice. I was having to reach for the higher notes more. As my transition progressed, basically my range went from being about 2.5 octaves, and then it kind of shrank down. Then I regained the bottom of my range, and then lastly I was able to move into doing things in my head voice again. The first year to 2 years, I experienced quite a bit of cracking when I lost that top range. And one of the big things for me was that if I sang for too long at one time, my voice would get really tired. If I talked too much or too loudly, my voice would get too tired. So I really paid a lot of attention to my body and what it was telling me. And I would sing frequently, sometimes several times a day, but for sometimes as short as maybe a 20-minute interval, if that's when my voice started getting tired. Around 3 years, I wasn't having any cracking or things like that, but it took all the way up until probably my 4th year on Testosterone for my voice to really even out and to drop as much as it was going to drop and to kind of regain that top range. I think that, I'm very happy with how my voice turned out. I don't have as much breath support as I used to, and that's a big thing. I have to pay attention to breathing properly, using my diaphragm, using the skills and techniques that I learned in 20 years of singing prior to transition. But throughout my transition, I sang every day, even when I sounded ridiculous, and I think that was a big key in keeping a usable singing voice. Now I sing in a punk rock band, and I would say that my standards for vocalization are not what they were when I was maybe in high school and competing in solo ensemble or something like that, trying to sing classical stuff. But this is what I want to be singing, and I'm very happy. I definitely have the capability to do the kind of singing that I want to do. But I think that singing every day was a huge thing that impacted my ability to keep singing. I would say if you have the ability to take vocal lessons with someone who works with biological males going through puberty, in other words, teenage boys, that is a good thing, because that's basically what your voice is experiencing. Your vocal cords are thickening. It's going to take more breath to push sound, more air to push sound through them, and have control. And it's very important not to strain those muscles while they're developing. Another really good thing to do is to sing along with artists and CDs or whatever, and remember that the artists you're used to singing with, that range might not be what your range is going to end up with. So look for new artists to sing along with, either artists where you try to match tone quality, or just artists that will allow you to explore your new range, and things like that. So I think that is pretty much the key points of my experience. How about you, Chris?
Alright. Well, my background is I had no formal training when it came to singing. I did sing a lot. I used to sing a lot. But when my voice started changing, I basically stopped, and I just my voice would squawk a lot, and I was really impatient, and I found that there were parts of my range that just disappeared, which I eventually got back, but for a while there I didn't have those parts of my range, and it was really frustrating, and I just lost interest. I mean, I wasn't enjoying it, so I quit.
But you started singing more lately.
Yeah, yeah. But singing is something that I want to get back into, and so I've been experimenting with that a bit, thanks to help from these guys. And
is it hard to hear like where certain notes are now that you're starting?
Well, I mean, I can hear it in my head when I hear a melody or whatever. I can hear a harmony in my head, but what first comes out of my face is not what it's not what I hear in my head, and so I do a lot of the type of stuff, like trying to find that note that I know is there, but so
how long has it been since you used to sing prior to transition and are now trying to sing again?
Okay, well I've been on T for it'll be 4 years. It'll be 4 years this year. It's been 4 years. Whoops. But I sang until like my voice started like really changing, like when I would try to hit a note and squawk a lot. But I mean, I sang here and there, but it's more like in the shower nobody can hear me because the water's running, or so I think.
So like three and a half years probably.
Probably 3.5 years where I haven't done a whole lot of anything. So yeah, now it's just I'm relearning that, and it's mostly trial and error, and me trying to get a feel for what my voice is supposed to feel like when I'm hitting the notes I want to hit, and how many times can I duplicate that. That's about it.